Hi, my name is Gene, and this is Sicko Podcast.
All right, let's get into the shit, man. How's your week been?
Woo! It's been pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Better than it was going.
Yeah.
As you know, with this whole thing, my car got hit while it was parked. So I got that repaired though, the mechanical stuff, and I'm working to get the body repaired. So, but my week's going pretty good though.
Yeah, man, that's fucked up. Like, I remember when you told me that story that you just you were just chilling inside your friend's crib, and what happened exactly?
I mean, so basically, my car was just parked on the street,
Yeah.
and I wake up, and next thing I know, like there's a giant gash on the side of the car. And so then the funny thing is the neighbor came out to tell me, oh, the person came out and try to like locate you.
Yeah.
But they went over to the neighbor's house instead of knocking on this house.
Hmm.
And I mean, then apparently the person came over to the bottom of my house, but we're on the second floor.
Yeah.
And the guy downstairs didn't come up to tell us about it. It was just a giant mess.
I would have fought my neighbor.
Which one though?
Low key, the one that
Both?
no, not the other one, because he doesn't even live in the same house. But the
Oh, you
one
did that
the one that
much.
was downstairs, that when the driver came up and he's like, nah, that's not my car. And you know for a fact that he knew that was your car?
He must have, bro. He must have known it was my car. I think he lives like right below downstairs. He must have known it was my car because he's seen me with that car for days. But I asked him, like I saw him and I was like, hey, did you see my car get hit? He was like, did somebody talk to you? He was like, yeah, I tried to knock upstairs, but I didn't see nothing. Nobody came to the door. And I
Oh,
was like,
he said he tried.
he said he tried. But
All
the thing
right.
is, I would have heard it though. So
You think he was lying?
something's definitely up. Something, I don't know who hit my car. It could have been, apparently there was a party in like across the street
Yeah.
late at night and people were drinking. So
Uh,
I think that's what it was.
little drunk
Because
driving.
the way that they hit my car, I wasn't at the intersection. I was parked parallel on the street. That means somebody was driving and they said swerve out and then they just completely smashed into the car.
Bro,
So,
speaking of that, right? A couple days ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks, I was chilling in my room, in my house, and I just hear a boom. So I look out the window, and it was the same scenario as yours, where a parked car was just on the street, not an intersection or anything. This family had they literally just boop right right into that parked car, and there were kids in the car. They were crying. Luckily nobody was hurt or anything, but it was just loud, and there was like 15 people in that car. It was so weird. Like, I was like, how are
did the
there so many
person who
people?
owned the car come out?
What?
Did the person who owned the car come out?
No, it was like 2 a.m. So the person who the car owner, as far as I know, didn't come out, but they
Only
didn't.
happens at night.
What?
This only happens at night.
Yeah, I think because people might be intoxicated or whatever.
I think. Yeah.
But yeah, so they hit the car, and there was just the mom or whatever was trying to settle all her kids down, and the cops came and everything, and that's when I lost interest. It was mad interesting just.
That's when it was done for you.
Yeah, I was just watching out the window. I was like, damn, this is crazy.
Damn,
All right.
that's a
That
bad
was
day
it.
for someone out there. But do you know that what that reminds me of?
What?
I don't know if you know, but from what I understand, in some places in China, I don't know if I told you this. In some places in China, if someone runs you over, sometimes they reverse and try to kill you because they rather deal with the effects of you if they kill you than like having to pay for a lifetime of injuries for you.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that. It was like because they could sue you just for if it's like the injuries are critical, they could sue you for life or some shit.
Yeah, like you basically gonna be paying for it forever. So sometimes they try to kill you.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I don't know. If it's hard to believe though, I don't know if it was just a rumor or
Yeah, I'm
something.
gonna check. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check after this because I think I did research on that after, and there was something along the lines of what you said, but I totally forgot.
Yeah, it's hard to believe though, because morally, you imagine running over someone and it's like, damn, let me
Can you
finish.
imagine just knowing that fact and then you just go, all right, I gotta roll the fuck out the way.
It's like, damn, let me finish my food.
Like I'm
Nah,
rolling out immediately. Like if I get hit and I could roll out the way or walk or whatever, I'm out. I'm like,
but like,
yo,
just think about it. You crossing the street, you just bought a little, a little 40, a little Swiss of sweets or whatever, and you crossing the street. Now you're fighting for your life. Now you're in a Mission Impossible situation. Uh,
do you think you could live in China?
Um, like, like currently
Let's say
the
for
way,
2 years,
hmm?
without coronavirus.
Yeah, but like as the government is,
Yes,
ah,
but you're an American
well,
citizen, so
yeah. Well, I don't know how they feel. Well, it depends. Well, actually, what part of China?
I don't know.
Like, are we talking mainland China or like
I mean, wherever you'd want,
Indonesian island Hong Kong?
wherever you'd want to live, you
I could
know.
probably chill in Hong Kong a bit. I mean, besides like, there's a lot of protests going on over there, obviously, because mainland China is trying to take it over.
Yeah.
But I think if I knew the language, a couple of years, yeah, why not?
I mean, right now, as you are, without knowing the language.
Oh, right, nah, there's no way. There's no way.
Why not?
I think I would have to be chilling on Google Translate the entire time. Like, yo, let me get him a double.
Um, I feel like a lot of countries have like ways for speaking people to get by.
I think you would have to like, don't they? Can't you hire like a translator?
You can. There's also this new piece of technology. Well, there's several pieces of technology. There's this new one that you can put in your ear and it will translate real time.
What?
Yeah, real time. You just put it on your ear and then whatever is spoken, there might be a 1 or 2 second delay, but I think it's meant to be real time.
No, that's like some future joint. That's like some Iron Man stuff right there.
Yeah, that'd be mad
I
cool.
know there's an app for like iPhones where like you speak to it and then it automatically says it in the language you choose.
Yes, iPhone has that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's mind blowing. I never tried it, but that's mind blowing. I guess you could get by.
Hmm.
Like if you're ordering something at a restaurant, you just say the number or something. You might not know where it is, but
Yeah. The only thing though, I don't think I'd want to live in China because it's so crowded. Like,
mm,
I want to see all the technology and advancements they
mm,
have because their cities are like beautiful and really
yeah,
advanced and featurely. But just the crowd of people and standing out, I feel like you always stand out as a foreigner in China. Like,
yeah, that's definitely gonna be a thing. But now that I think about it, you think it's more crowded in New York City?
yes,
Yeah, that's a no go. Like living in the city,
yeah, man.
that's
Because
what.
like with New York
Would you
City,
live
like,
like in India, like in one of the crowded cities?
um, yeah, India's also hot too. That's the
Yeah,
thing. Like at least in China, I'm not sure what the weather's like in China, but I don't think I think it changes.
I think it varies.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
varies. But India, it's hot, humid. I still want to visit, of course. I want to visit the world.
If you could choose, if you had to live somewhere else that wasn't in America right now, where would it be? Besides the whole virus situation.
That wasn't America.
Yeah, like you just
Mm,
gotta go somewhere else.
close, if I really like America, I'd say Canada. Um,
Like Walmart brand
and
America.
if I really want something similar, I'd say London,
Yeah.
or something like that. But I don't know. I haven't like explored enough of the world to really like know. Because like Europe is cool. The whole continent. The good thing about Europe is like you could just go anywhere around Europe really for little money.
Yeah.
So that's one reason I choose Europe.
Mm.
But you know, and Brazil, the crime rate is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was just I mean it'd be cool, but the
Yeah,
crime rate
Port
Dude, I don't
control.
know why, but on YouTube I see a bunch of like off-duty officer videos in Brazil. They're all from Brazil.
What do they do?
They stop crime.
They're
Off
off
duty.
duty. Wait, when they're not working, they just stop crime, or is it
Yeah,
not officers?
there's so much like crime that every time it happens to be an off-duty officer somehow. I don't know if they just got a lot of officers,
Mm.
or I don't know what's going on, but every time I see like a video, it's coming out of Brazil.
You know, they've had this crime issue for a long ass time. What do you think they're doing to fix that? It's kind of like it's kind. I guess it's kind of like one of those things that it's so bad. It's gone to a point where I don't. It's kind of like irreversible without. It's like a checkmate situation because they don't have a lot of money. Like their economy isn't that good. Like it's the same thing with Mexico. Like the crime rate in Mexico is is bad. Not as bad as Brazil, but that same lack of control. Like, did you see? I think it was like a couple months ago, where El Chapo's son, I think it was, El Chapo's son, he got arrested by the police, right?
Mm.
Or a famous cartel son, but I believe it's El Chapo's
Mm.
son. And then while he was in the precinct, in the police, El Chapo's cartel, they like basically terrorized the whole city, and they're like,
Yeah,
"We're gonna keep doing this until you release this man."
yeah, they had no choice.
Yeah, they were
They were just
attacking.
running our city.
Yeah, they were attacking cops. They had like rocket launchers. Places were on fire. They were just shooting everywhere. The civilians were just recording everything. Like this is crazy.
That looked like it was straight out of Call of Duty or something.
Yeah, and then in less than a day, the Mexican government was forced to release El Chapo's son, which is crazy.
That's man. Could you imagine like that happened for everybody? Like people on the block just came up and like were like, "Yo, you're gonna release him, or the whole city's gonna be on fire today."
Like that shit does not happen. Like
I don't know. That
only
just shows you the power that El Chapo and his son had.
yeah
That's what it was
the whole cartel
over
movement.
Mexico.
Yeah, the whole cartel movement in Mexico is crazy. I
How
can't.
would you feel though about your government though? If they're like, "Yo, we have no choice. Like,
I mean,
you do what you want to do."
my feelings of the government has like really changed drastically since like 2016. Like
Yeah.
like before, because as a kid, I guess just being naive, like you always hear, oh, when you become an adult, or like just adult things like, oh, when you're on your own, be careful, don't trust anybody. The
Mm.
world's a dark place, and you hear that, but you don't really understand that until you see like, oh, kids missing, sex trafficking, and you learn about all this shit that goes down, and the thing that people get away with, just in general. So learning that's when I was like, okay, damn, the world is a dark place. It's dangerous out here. And then with the
Yeah.
government, people were like, I never understood the sentiment growing up, like, oh, I don't trust the government. Government ain't shit. More state rights versus government rights. But growing up with this Trump administration, where he's basically trying to do some stupid shit, and then the government, like when he was trying to open up America prematurely before COVID-19, and all the state governors was like, "Fuck out of
Bugging.
here."
They're like, "You're bugging."
Like, fuck out of here. I'm not
Nah,
opening up my state. So
I feel like when you're growing up, you're like,
yeah,
the government, it's people. They're gonna do right by the people. They're gonna be moral good. And then you grow up and it's like, no, they're not gonna be moral good. Maybe a little bit sometimes, but it depends how they're feeling. And
yeah,
sometimes it's whatever. Sometimes they care more about money than actually doing good.
yeah. Just the fact or the power of self-interest in high position powers that affects everybody. Like, how can you be selfish as president? Like, you're literally your job is the
To
best
represent the
for
entire nation.
America, the best for the whole country. Like, can you imagine just a selfish parent? Like, oh, there's one piece of chicken left. We both hungry. Me and my 7-year-old both hungry. I'ma eat that though.
But I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm about to eat this piece right here, and we're gonna figure that out next time.
Yeah, like your whole job is to take care of this kid. Your whole job is to take care of this country. Like
Dude, when
if you have two, opposite sides in fighting each other, conflicting. If you're a parent, your daughter and son are fighting. You don't pick a side. You're like, hey, stop fighting. Like we're a
Usually
family.
parents are like, "Oh, I could never pick," but the president's like, "Nah, I could pick real
Yeah,
easy,
I love
real
this
easy."
side more. I love this side more
Yeah,
right
look,
here.
over here. This, I feel like the day I realized it was like, oh, this is the leader of the country. I mean, obviously, I knew like the whole time it was a mess.
Yeah.
But what really was the nail in the coffin was when he tweeted something like, I forgot what he said he accomplished, but he was like, "Thank you, Mr. Trump." Like he thanked himself.
Mm.
I was like,
You
could you
remember?
imagine if you go to McDonald's or something,
Yeah.
they give you the food and they're like, "Oh, thank you, me." Like they thank themselves for giving you the food.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Just that in fact, like maybe just see different things like through adult eyes, like the lack of trust in the government, lack of trust in corporations was there early on. But it's just it's just really crazy just that the last thing, the one that hit me the hardest the most
Mhm.
was I always believed like, you know what? Everybody has common sense. Like at least we got that.
If we got nothing else, we got logic.
Logic is something that we all have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
got I
And we
got
are,
I got
yeah.
this water bottle right here.
Mm-hmm.
If the cap's not on it, I'm not gonna go like this. The
Right.
water's gonna spill. We all know that. That like that type of thinking is something that isn't common at all. Or there are a lot more stupid or a lot more dumb people in the world than I anticipated, and that was shocking to me, bro.
That just reminded me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I guess I was self aware at an early age, and like I thought things through, and then I realized that's called logic. It's called common sense.
yeah,
But I thought I was the only person with it because the kids around me, they seemed to lack it. They would just do dumb things, and I'd be like, am I the only person who's thinking clearly? Then I realized when people mature,
mm.
you know, everybody acts like with common sense. If there's a red light, you wait for it. Um, there's courtesy, you open doors for people, you don't slam it on them, stuff like that. Table manners.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, most people have common sense. Then entered 2018 or something around there after 2016. And I was like, wait a second. A lot of people don't have common sense, actually. My original hypothesis when I was a child was correct. Only some people are thinking clearly.
You relearn what you did as a kid.
It's like a cycle. I thought I was learning like this, but I'm learning like this.
It's like just with that level of thinking, it was so disappointing for me. It's like because before I wasn't impressed with common sense. You know what I mean?
Like it was just a given. Like
Yeah. Like like when you watch a good YouTube video or when you watch something done well, and then it's done well, and it seems simple, right? Like the person did nothing complex. Like for example, like a good Drake song that's a hit, but it's not fire, right? It's not complex. Like God's plan, like
yeah,
that.
like it falls within the model. It falls within.
Yeah. Like that song isn't complex. There's not too many layers. It's simple to grasp. It's a bump. I'm understanding everything throughout. Like if that was common sense, or if that was life, that's not the majority, right? Like a lot of people can't make just a song like a good verse that makes me go like this, a nice hook, God's plan. That's all he said, God's plan. The way it was produced as well, like people can do that. Like if that's common sense, like that can do it. Like, hey man, like hey, I believe in equality. That was a sentence, a very simple sentence. Like it's not shocking to hear. It shouldn't surprise anyone to hear that. But if I just simply change that to I do not believe in equality. What?
Yeah, you know what we're living in? It's that
What?
episode of SpongeBob where I forgot his name, but he was trying to hand the wallet back to Patrick. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah,
that?
yeah,
He was
yeah. I
he
think I
was like,
remember that.
"Is this your wallet?" I don't know. Well, it has your ID on it. So, and it's inside the wallet. So is this your wallet? That makes sense to me. So take it. It's not my wallet. That's literally life right now. Do you believe in equality? Yeah. So Black Lives Matter. Wait a second. I don't know about that.
Oh, all
I
lives
don't know,
matter.
man. Now you're saying something controversial to me. So
It's like they're trying to be slick with it. Like,
yeah, they're trying to be like undercover. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah,
growing up in New York City though, you're not really like exposed to like
yeah. I think that's what like contributed most to this mentality that I had in terms of thinking everybody has common sense because the
yeah,
city is so diverse and everything, and also guns aren't legal in the city. So people can't just get shot for nothing unless it's by police.
yeah.
And but in general, you go out, you see everybody.
It
But
seems like everybody is in agreement basically in New York City. Like,
yeah,
of course, there's going to be people who are outliers who are like, oh, they're saying some rhetoric,
yeah, like Long Island,
but
or is it
you
Staten
never
Island?
realize how massive the other way of thinking is for other people
Yeah,
outside of New York City.
it's difficult to grasp, but when you do, it's like tough. Like obviously, I knew that outside the city, it's not as sweet. Like I knew, like
Yeah,
yeah, outside New York State, it's not as sweet. You have to be more aware, but it really don't like these last 5 years, it really sunk in.
yeah,
And
and
it's not even in like even outside of politics or whatever. Like
yeah,
let's say for example something that we all learn just from the streets, snitching, right? In movies, whether it's a white movie, whether it's a black white movies, they call it narking. Hey man, don't narc, man, and etc. Everybody else, but the most common term is snitching. As a kid, you learn
kindergarten,
about it.
tattletale.
Tattletelling. Nobody likes a tattletale. Your teachers used to say this shit. Hey
Yeah,
man, like you thought you was doing good. I saw Tommy do this with his eraser. Hey Jenny, nobody likes a tattletale. And Jenny's like, what the fuck?
and then you go to the playground, and you gotta deal with them kids.
Right, right. But even that like ingrained cloth or way of thinking has been changed just with 6ix9ine.
Yeah. Well, first off, let me ask you,
Yeah,
how do you feel about that? Like about what he did,
yeah.
and would you do the same in his situation?
I mean, I've like several thoughts about it. As a civilian, as a person that's not affiliated with anything, right? Snitching or street, whatever, doesn't apply to civilians like us, right? But 6ix9ine, he chose to get himself involved in that life, like with streets and whatever. And the basic code of that is like, hey man, once you step into this house, accept whatever comes with it. That's really what it is. That's a general concept, or that's the old school way of thinking. Like knock knock, and then the person inside is like, "Yo, you sure? Like, if you come in here, right, you could get
That accept you
shot,
through.
you could get stabbed, you could get killed, you could get arrested. However, if you get arrested, just don't talk because we're all in this. Just don't talk. That's all you have to do. 6ix9ine knew that, right? And obviously, we all knew like, oh, his famous. You want to test my gangster? You want to test my gang? He failed that test with flying colors.
He tested him.
With flying colors, he failed that test. Pun intended. But it's like so my thoughts on that is he was I'm not gonna say right or wrong because I'm not in that life. Like I'm just a witness. So my opinion is, it's complicated because he was exploiting his gang and his gang was exploiting him, right? They knew he wasn't about that life.
It was a mutually toxic
Yeah,
relationship.
a very toxic relationship. Like the gang, like they should have known. They should have never let him in that house because they knew he wasn't about it. They just
But the
wanted
thing
him for the
is, they
money.
was profiting. It was a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah,
They was taking money from him. They was
exactly.
doing baby moms. they was just profiting
Yeah,
off him.
they was doing more than just profiting. As you mentioned, they were like
They were
messing.
exploiting him.
They were messing with his baby moms. Um, they were like obviously exploiting him. When they want money, they need that money. And 6ix9ine was, and they I think they were plotting on killing him too because of the whole
Yo, I forgot they
investigation.
kidnapped him.
And they kidnapped him. Yeah. So
I mean,
it's shaky. Like 6ix9ine has a point um, when he says that, oh, you know, they weren't really gang with me. But
that's what at the same time though.
yeah, but at the
The
same time,
lifestyle.
it wasn't everybody. Everybody that he snitched on wasn't plotting on him. You know
That's
what I mean?
facts. He
That
gave
was
up the whole gang.
the whole game, the whole team. I mean, I think there's more Treyway out there, but
I don't know. I just feel like that makes it like so no one's gonna trust him in the future.
I mean, yeah, even outside of that, right? Like Bobby Schmurder is still in jail. I think that's crazy. But
It's actually really wild.
my man came out with, and that's it.
And he was gone.
And he had that Bobby bitch song, and that was that.
Yeah.
And his name is still alive. Like that's kind of crazy.
But I think it also affects the way he goes down, the way he's remembered. He's gonna, for example, 6ix9ine is gonna go down as a troll. You know, he's making his money though, so I can't even hate. He's
Right.
making his money, but he's going down as a troll. But Bobby Schmurder, he's going down as a hero. He took more time, so he didn't snitch on his boy,
Yeah,
which that's right.
yeah. And the thing about, I don't think he cares about going down as a troll.
I
And
think he does. I think he just cares about money.
do you think that, like, after his house arrest is over, because I've been saying that this quarantine has been great for two people, Donald Trump and 6ix9ine. They're both benefiting immensely off that, right? Like with Donald Trump, this shit went down during election year.
Yeah.
Voting is very difficult now with this quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not gonna make it any easier, like at all. Because I saw this article that basically said that the Republican Party dislikes making voting easier because that's a disadvantage to them because the Democrats have more supporters in general, or something like that. The Democrats have more supporters, but the Democrats are lazier. You know what I mean? So because the Democrats, they always have a lot of young people and shit like that, and the same reason Trump got elected, a lot of people, 2 million plus people in the minority community didn't vote. So the minority community um, isn't doesn't vote often or doesn't vote as strongly as the white community. But in general, also Democrats, younger Democrats, or just in general, don't vote as much. So the easier you make it, the higher the chance that they'll vote, which wouldn't be good for Republicans because that'll reach a new demographic of Democrats that will be ready to vote.
That
So
makes perfect sense. I
yeah,
mean, now that you mention it, I don't know why I never thought of it. But how come voting? We're living in 2020. How come voting isn't on your phone?
yeah,
How, how come I can order a car to be delivered to my? I can buy a car and have it delivered to my house, but I can't press who I want to vote for on my phone.
yeah. Like even if it's not on the phone, like even if it's on your laptop, like we have state tests, we have all these. Like my mom was taking a nursing test online,
Online.
and all yeah, it was very secure. Everything was there, but the government is just not there in terms of that. So this quarantine has affected Trump in that aspect because even more people will probably not vote, which is sad. But
Yeah,
the
I didn't even
Republicans,
know that you had to sign up for absentee ballot voting
yeah,
until my sister told me about it like a day beforehand. So it's not very well spread information either.
yeah,
Like people have to actively try to spread the information, or else a bunch of people are going to miss out on voting just
correct.
because of this quarantine.
Exactly, exactly. And that's all by design. Like the Republicans and the silent majority, they're
Mm.
always gonna vote because they have a point to prove. They're like I was talking to this Republican on my podcast. Yeah. And he spoke on this on the silent majority. He's like, we don't speak, we just vote. And I was like, that's I couldn't deny that. That's a fact. They don't
Yeah,
speak. They just vote. I mean, the extreme like Trump people, of course they're gonna speak and whatever. But those are the extreme sides. But the silent majority, they just vote. I'm like, all right,
you know, if they made voting as easy as when you're gonna cashier line and they're like, "Would you like to donate to
yeah,
so and so? Would you like to vote right now?" Like, just do that, and then I'm pretty sure more people would vote. Like, just put it in people's faces, put it on their phones,
yeah,
put it on their laptop. Don't let them start their car without voting on their touchscreen.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure things would be drastically different.
Like taxes are mandatory as a citizen.
Yeah,
Voting,
so you have to file tax, but you don't have to vote. Like,
it's stupid. So that's the benefit for Trump with this whole quarantine. Voting
you know,
is
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think their logic is we're not gonna promote it too much because we don't want uninformed people to vote. Because
it's a right. It's
yeah,
a,
so
it's a right.
it's kind of like why not publish it in more places? They make it seem like it's only for some people. Oh, like though, if you care about politics, go vote. But they should really brand it as like if you care about anything you're doing in this country, you should vote.
Yeah, yeah. It's a right, but they're trying to make it more optional. Like they just don't want to push that agenda for voting,
They really don't.
and that's something that needs to change. So that's Trump's benefit. Voting is difficult under quarantine, and also there's more chaos. He's prosperous under chaos. For
Yeah,
6ix9ine, right? Imagine if 6ix9ine had gone home as a snitch, right? Where everybody's sitting down right now. Everybody's home. Where you at? I'm home. That's the conditions where he came in. Where the gang at? We home. Right? Imagine if quarantine wasn't there and 6ix9ine, like a famous snitch, got home in the streets safe with all these gangsters, whatever, outside. And people
that's
were
what.
people were ratting. Like people not even ratting, but his neighbors were just like, oh, that's 6ix9ine, boop. He had
That's
to move.
exactly there.
He had to
So
move
like they had
ASAP.
that. They know where he was at.
I
But the
feel
thing is,
yeah.
like, is he being protected by the feds until his house arrest is over, or is that a permanent witness protection program, like for the rest of the time?
I mean, he's not under witness protection because he opted out of that.
Oh, did he? So it's his personal guards.
Yeah, he has his personal security, and whenever the neighbors compromised his address and leaked it, the feds would like inform him, hey man, your address was leaked, and that's as far as they're gonna go as far as protection. Of course, if he calls the cops, they'll come get him.
So what I'm not understanding is how Pop Smoke got taken out for reasons unknown to us, obviously the public. But 6ix9ine, like a famous snitch, world like there's no way you don't know he's snitching at this point.
I mean,
But he's
didn't Pop Smoke die, get murdered before quarantine?
yeah, yeah.
He
But
I
you're
think
saying like 6ix9ine is safer now because of
yes,
quarantine.
yes. That,
My thing is like people are walking outside. Like if you're, it's not like it's never a good time to go murder someone. It's not like you go like, oh well, it's windy outside, and let's say let's say it for tomorrow. It's like he's sitting right there. There's no witnesses because everybody's in quarantine,
I
but he's
mean,
still up there though.
it's like right with Pop Smoke, um, he had like a house party, and he put his own address out, and the
Oh, I thought
wrong
he's in Iraq.
yeah he had a house party. He was having a house party. He put his address out. Hey, come to the house, come to the party, and the wrong people came. I think that was the situation there.
Man,
Now with 6ix9ine under quarantine, like yeah, it's never a good time to murder somebody, but just the fact that this is the best time to be safe and hide because everybody's home, and literally, this coronavirus thing, it's not getting covered as much now, but
yeah.
it's serious, and people are scared. Like, I don't think that gangsters are just gonna be like, all right, man, let's just do this, blah blah blah, put some face masks and just take care of 6ix9ine. He's probably also being watched under house arrest
Yeah.
and things like that. So I just feel like, is this man gonna be home for the rest of his life?
You know what? He might be because once his house arrest finishes, do you believe he's really gonna be stepping outside, like to go to events and stuff like that?
I mean, until quarantine's over, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I can't. I thought that I knew the world pretty much, and that I could predict the world and some events, not the world, but just situations.
Mm.
Like with the 6ix9ine thing, I was like, oh, it's a rap for him, you know, and it's not. That's not disappointing news. I don't really care. I'm just watching. I don't wish death upon anyone really.
Mm.
But like with 6ix9ine, I was like, oh, that's rap for him. With Trump, I was like, we're getting him out of here. That's that. He had his four or whatever. We're getting him out of here. Even in impeachment, I was like, oh, he's gonna get impeached. But none of that stuff has been happening.
So it makes you wonder, like, they used to say, oh, snitches get stitches.
Yes.
But do they though? Do they?
The world.
Maybe you reach a certain level of celebrity status where you become almost untouchable. Obviously, there's celebrities have been killed all the time, but there's too many eyes on him where they wouldn't be able to do that successfully.
I mean, I don't know because I thought so until Triple X got killed.
Mm.
That was my first. I mean, when Michael Jackson died, I was a little younger, and that was crazy. But but until Triple X, like, I was like, yo, that's wild. That was like the wildest news I heard. I remember I was just working, and then you guys texted that to me, and I was like, what? I thought it was a lie. Like news like that, you think it's a lie. Like,
yeah, when I think it's real, once I see the TMZ logo, that's when I'm like, okay, this is real.
nah. Once I saw like all the memes, not the memes, but all the posts on Instagram, RIPs, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like, it reminded me of like Tupac and Biggie era. Like when Tupac and Biggie died, it's just I feel like the impact of that is just normal now. Like when Triple X died, it was a week of shock and RIPs, and then we move on, and that's that. And then after Triple X, I think it was what was
Mac Miller.
Yes, Mac Miller. And I wasn't even a huge Mac Miller fan, but I was just like, what?
Yeah, because you grow up and you hear Mac Miller on MTV or something, and then all of a sudden, oh, Mac Miller died, and he wasn't old at all. He was very young.
He wasn't old at all. Like 6ix9ine was in his 20s. I mean, his 6ix9ine. Triple X was in his 20s, and Mac Miller was, I think it was like in his 30s or early 30s. And
I think it was either early 30s or late 20s.
Yeah, I feel like he was 28 or 29 or something.
Yeah,
but
and then after that it was Juice WRLD.
Yeah, after that it was Juice WRLD. Wait, was it Juice WRLD or was it Kobe?
No, Juice WRLD happened first.
Yeah, then Juice WRLD, and again, like, I wasn't.
At some point, Lil Peep. I don't know when that happened, but I think that was before Triple X.
So it's almost like after Triple X, just a whole bunch of celebrities just started dying.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD, and then the biggest shock of all, like, not to compare, but Kobe Bryant, bro.
Like
at the top of
Kobe, he's so solidified in the way that we think of, like, he's basically a legend. He's such a legend that you're like, he can't die. He's too big to die.
Yeah, and he's not even like he's not even like, not only is he a legend and he's so great, but he's an outstanding citizen. He doesn't get involved in anything. He's too smart to get robbed and shit like that. So just the fuckery of how he went at the top of 2020. Yo, before we even really knew about COVID.
It doesn't even feel like it was this year. So much shit has happened this year. It feels like that was last year.
At the top of 2020, I remember I was on FaceTime with my friend, one of my best friends, and then she was like, yo, Kobe died, bro. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And I guess I'm glad.
To this day, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, I'm glad that I, was talking to somebody, when it happened, because we were just quiet for like a whole minute. We're just like it was ridiculous. And to make matters worse, Kobe died with his daughter, and there was a whole other family there as well. But after just hearing that Kobe died with one of his daughters, anything else after that, it's not like it's irrelevant. It's like, it's already too much. It's like, Kobe died with his daughter. Oh, by the way, 4 or 5 other people died as well with their kids, and you're like, That
That's a,
was such a shock.
and what is, what's crazy about that is that he started to, I don't know if you heard, but he was taking those helicopters so he can save time to be with his kids. And that's what did him in.
And he's always been riding helicopters. So it's like something you always do. And all these deaths and things like that were a reminder of that life is like that at any time. But that one hit hard. That one hit
Yeah.
hard.
Not to get too morbid, but it's sometimes hard to process. Like, you think, oh, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today I'm gonna chill. You really have no idea what's gonna happen when.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, even like if it's not as drastic as life, like 2020, I had a whole plan for the year. I was gonna travel. It was gonna be my traveling year. My traveling year. I'm sure a lot of people, the world, had plans for 2020. Life said, everybody sit down and stay home real quick.
It only takes 5 minutes for the entire history of people to change. Like the entire year changed. Matter, when I first heard of the virus, I was like, oh, that's far. That's nothing to do with us.
Yes.
Couple of weeks and the entire nation had to shut down.
The earth is small, bro. Like, we forget that. And, even speaking of this, like, we talked about celebrity deaths and things like that, and how tomorrow's not promised. That is so true for so many people. Like, we're talking about celebrity deaths, but a lot of people just died this year
Yeah.
that were alive last year because of this coronavirus. And that's something that I don't really think about often because, it's sad or whatever. And
Yeah.
at some point, like, as fucked up as it is to say, it's just numbers now. It's like 300,000 deaths, 400,000 cases, 500,000 deaths. These are all deaths. That's crazy.
At some point, it reaches a number where it's hard to fathom. What does that number look like? What does 400,000 people look like?
Like 400,000 people. Let's double that. 800,000 family members lost somebody.
Like, I don't even know what.
Like moms, dads, uncles, grandpas, and it's just crazy that this happens. Like when I was thinking about this, I was thinking like all those like repopulation conspiracies, like the world needs to lower its population.
Like population control.
Yeah. That's what I thought of. I was like, this is like sort of that. Like if there is a conspiracy, that'd be like the one that I believe the most. And other than that,
Do you think it's do you think this is man-made or this is just a natural occurrence?
I mean, if it's man-made, there's so many ways you could go with this, because it's man-made because they wanted to start a war and it got out of control. There's that. It's man-made because this was done for population control. Maybe China wanted to do that just in China for population control and it got out of hand. Or just the world. But either way, it's just crazy. And like, what if this is just life now? Like, you remember WALL-E?
Do you think like just this is the rest of our life? Our life is trying to not to get the virus, basically.
You remember WALL-E? The movie?
Yeah.
What if that's just the future, like dead ass? Like, all right, like not in terms of we gotta dip the earth and just live in a spaceship. Just in terms of this is just life now. Like this is.
It is what it is, basically.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, just gotta accept. Like, hey, if you die, you die. Like, I think that's the most popular thing, especially.
I think that's what people were. That's what people are doing now. They're like, we know the virus is out there. If you get sick, I hope you made your peace with God. But
as a matter of fact, that was my thinking. Just not like that. Just in terms of like, once I heard about this and blah blah blah, I'm out and I realized, like all the doomsday preppers. I apologize. I just like to say that right now. Because them niggas was waiting for this day, bro. They got the cans, they got everything, they got the toilet paper, they good.
Me, look at you now. Can't wipe your ass.
Me, I was caught lacking. I was caught slipping. I was trying to tell my family, I was like, yo, we should get some cans, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was nonchalant. And then finally, like we did it like 2 days before the quarantine was in effect. So we obviously didn't get enough stuff because
Mm.
obviously everybody was going to get shit. But
Yeah,
I just realized I am not prepared as of now for Armageddon. And just in terms of that whole, you can't control everything. Because, like, obviously, thinking in the future, I always related to doomsday preppers. I was like, in the future, if I have my own crib or whatever, I'm gonna have a doomsday little
like a
thing going
shelter.
on. Like I'm gonna have a little shelter, I'm gonna have some food and etc. just in case. So I just assumed I'd be good whenever. But life
But,
said, "Oh, right now though. How about now?"
but my question to you is, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, this isn't like, yeah, apocalyptic level
right.
stuff. Like, we're definitely in quarantine. My question is, if something apocalyptic were to happen, would you try to survive it?
Of course I try.
Like, would you realistically try to make, like, but what sort of life is there to live
I
if
think,
everything gone to shit?
to be honest, the only thing that would suck, and this is another fucked up thing to say, is just the fact that I would have to take care of people. Like if I was on my own, no doubt, I think I'd be fine. I'd be like, all right, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, blah blah blah. But I have my sister, she's 11, and I have my parents, and I think they'll learn to take care of themselves, but they're like my parents. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
things would fall on me. Like let's say an intruder came to my crib. Like I probably got to be the one to handle that and out of everything. So like I can't just imagine just living this but surviving it with my family. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it'd be tough.
you know, it sucks to, like you said, it's fucked up to say, but in situations where like it's just survival, the elderly and
Hmm.
children are their liabilities. You trying to
Yeah,
stay alive, and you gotta hold not you gotta hold your weight and their weight too.
yeah, and just knowing that that's a fact. Like obviously you're not gonna abandon them because I love my family. It's
Exactly.
just acknowledging it. It's gonna be tough because of these reasons,
Yeah.
and for that, they gotta they you don't know how to fight. Here's a gun. That's another thing. Like as growing up, I was like, I don't care about guns, but I've learned about the importance of guns. Not
Mm.
that I'm like pro gun. Killing is a choice. Don't blame the
Yeah.
weapon. Blame the people. I'm not all the way
Like
there.
self defense.
Yeah, for self defense, and obviously, I just don't think like there's certain types of weapons that people shouldn't have access to, and
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. Like, a handgun and maybe some tiers above that. All right, that's cool, but AK-47s launch grenade
Rocket
launchers,
launchers.
like
Yeah,
really,
I know what you mean. Like, for example, what sort of, imagine someone comes to your home.
yeah,
And I know some people are gonna be like, yeah, of course, but like, imagine someone comes to your home. A handgun should be enough for self defense. Like, what? Why do you need an AK-47? As soon as you shoot like one shot, they're probably gonna turn around and flee.
yeah,
So why do you need a war machine basically to defend your house?
yeah.
But I don't know if it was like like if the apocalypse came, I try to survive as long as possible. But I'm not gonna be like, we're gonna get through this, like no Walking Dead situation. I'll be like, I'll be like, realistically, we're gonna run out of food at some
I
point.
mean, yeah, like for
I
me,
have no farming skills. You guys don't have any farming skills, but we don't have any land to farm in.
yeah,
We're gonna starve.
yeah. For these type of situations, cities are fucked.
Yeah,
Cities are fucked.
but if you're already a farmer, you might be good.
Yeah, farmers are good, uh, and people in like suburban areas, they're better. They have to worry about less,
Yeah,
especially
pull up to
if they're
Walmart,
prepared. Like
steal everything.
if you're in the city, like, we don't really have like a stockpile to place stuff.
Yeah, and things spread way faster in cities too.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right, all right. We're coming up on like an hour.
That
Don't wanna went by
that's
real quick. Don't want to take up too much of your time here. Um,
dumb.
yeah. So at the end of my podcast, I already
Mm.
told you I have a storyline going through. So I'm gonna tell you like the last two sentences.
So you're
Um,
not gonna tell me the beginning of the story.
yeah, because eventually, like on my 50th guest, I'm not gonna be reciting a whole journal. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it a little more interesting.
Okay.
Just the fact that the guests aren't fully aware of the whole
So
story.
they got to tune in to see the whole story.
Exactly. And I'll also release a compilation after a certain number of just the story.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it the story
I
so
want
far.
what the story's up to at this point.
All right. So I think you're actually the first guest that isn't fully aware of the whole story.
Now wait a second. That's not fair though. I would like no. Why don't you recite the last 10?
Bro,
Like, if
I
you're
talked
to-
to 8 people.
Okay.
Listen. It's not even that serious. It's not. There's not like the parts that you're getting are the most important parts of the story. Okay.
Okay. The key points.
Yes. So, I'm gonna tell you the last 3. So,
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you the name of the characters. Okay.
Okay.
It's a man and a man named Rick. Okay. The man isn't named yet, so it's just a man and a homeless man named Rick. Okay. So a man and a homeless man named Rick go out for a walk. Then suddenly a vortex opens up in front of them, and they see 2 figures in that vortex. Then the figures invite them in for a drink. So that's where the story, that's where your part of the story comes in.
Damn.
So you're part of the most part. Like, you can say whatever you want. Then they run away, they refuse, or they pull out some AKs, or they go in they go in for a drink, like, or whatever.
Okay, so I gotta say the next 2 parts in 2 sentences.
No, 1 sentence. You say what happens next. Everybody gets
the next part.
Yeah, everybody gets 1 sentence to say the next part.
Ooh.
Like, it could be then they and da, and that's your sentence. Or you could just keep it as simple as then they, whatever, or whatever you want.
So they were invited in for drinks, right?
A vortex opens up in front of them, and they see 2 figures, and the figures invite them in for a drink.
Damn. Okay. Trying to make this interesting. Hold on. I'm gonna need a little time to think because I gotta be creative with it.
All right.
So it's a man and a man named Rick going in through a vortex with 2 unknown figures.
They didn't go in the vortex yet.
They haven't gone in.
It's a homeless man named Rick and a man. And they went out for a walk, and during their walk, a vortex opened up in front of them. They saw 2 figures who then invited them in for a drink.
Okay. One of the figures. Well, I have to say it in 1 sentence, or I could just say the next part.
What'd you say?
I have to say it in 1 sentence, or I could just say the next part of the story.
You can just say the next part.
Okay. One of the figures walks forward and reveals herself, and it's Cardi B. Then the second figure walks forward, and it's Bill Cosby. And then that's that.
And it's Bill Cosby. Okay. So one of the figures walks out, and it's Cardi B, and reveals herself, and it's Cardi B. And the second figure walks out, and it's Bill Cosby. Okay.
They're offering drinks.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that's the end of this page of Sicko Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
I'm
so
honored
much
to be one of the first 10.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining me. This was a dope conversation. It was very chill. My previous ones have been a little more serious because we talked about race and stuff. I mean, we dived into like the politics and shit like that. But yeah, man. Again, thank you for hopping on the podcast.
Thank you.
Hope to have you again. I don't mind having guests come back. So I might hit you up sometime, or if you got something going on, feel free to hit me up.
Hey, I'd be down to do after this whole thing is over, we could do like an in-person podcast too.
Yeah, that's how I wanted to do it before quarantine. It was gonna be in person. I was gonna like choose some dope locations and shit. But quarantine messed it up. So, but you can't let that stop the hustle.
Yeah. Hey man, do your thing out there. I see you. I'm watching.
Hey, we trying.